And aloha and haribo. So, due to popular demand, we're instead of sending you written updates on some of the astrological, astronomical, spiritual events happening every month, we're going to start commenting on them. They'll be short, they'll be sweet, and they'll be simple. So, today, in a place called Jagannath Puri, that's in Orissa in India, it's on the eastern seaboard of India, is an ancient temple. Goes back to ancient times. In fact, my instructing spiritual master Srila Gurudev said that what they're observing today has actually been performed since Satya Yuga, which is actually a couple of million years ago. This ceremony's been going on. So what they do in India, there's a temple called Jagannath Puri is the name of the place, and the temple is of Lord Jagannath. And we're going to just show you a picture of Lord Jagannath, Lord Balaram, Lady Subhadra, their worshipful lordships who are there in the temple. And here's a picture of that temple in India, in Orissa, Jagannath Puri. All right. So in this temple, since ancient times, the deities there come out once a year, and it's a major parade. And they go to a place called Gundicha Temple. And 500 years ago, the person who brought this chanting and dancing to the world, Lord Chaitanya, celebrated this Gundicha, the cleansing of the Gundicha Temple, by himself with his followers cleaning it. Formerly, Srila Gurudev said that only the king and his men would do it. They didn't have much feeling. But when Lord Chaitanya got involved, it was a heart kind of thing. And all the devotees there were taking big buckets of water, and they would go, Krishna, Krishna, and they're knocking they would knock that because they're clay pots of water, so they're busting them, and there's water everywhere. And Lord Chaitanya collected more dust and dirt out of the temple than all the devotees did together. So it was a major cleansing of this ancient temple, and now it's done every year with thousands of gallons of water. All right, old school, they got, it just drains out of the building kind of. All right, and Srila Gurudev said that this is actually representing cleaning our heart. So Lord Jagannath, Lord Balaram, and Lady Subhadra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is traveling to the Gundicha temple. So to prepare it, they're making it very clean. So the same idea is that to have God enter our heart, he's always there, but we want to make it very clean. Just like if you have a guest coming, or your mother, your father, or somebody you dearly love, you usually will clean. Now I know some people don't do this, but anybody got trained old school, you clean before somebody comes, before you invite somebody in. You want your place to be clean. So the same idea, we clean our heart, and that's what the chanting is all about. It's a mantra to clean our heart of all the dust accumulated, it says, for years together. So we've been here in this material world. People like to think of themselves as old souls. We're all really old souls. We've been here since time immemorial. And we have all this dust on us. And we're thinking, I'm an American this time, I'm black this time, I'm white this time, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Jew, I'm a Catholic, I'm old, so many designations, and I do past life regressions for people and things. And it's, you were this, you were this, you were this. Yeah, you've been a million different things, okay? So that's what the chanting does. It cleanses it so you can actually remember who you really are. All right? So this is today's ceremony, is the cleansing of the Gundicha temple, and it prepares that temple for the arrival of Lord Jagannath. And there for about 7 to 9 days, there's a festival held there, and then later they go back. So today they're cleaning the temple there, and then tomorrow there'll be what's called Rathayatra. That's where the Lord gets on these big 65, 75-foot high carts, chariots, and they go to the Gundicha temple from the Jagannath Puri temple. And we'll show you a picture of that. And you can see it's attended by Gurudev actually said during the festival with Lord Chaitanya, 1 million people went to this festival. I'm not too sure that many go. I have a god sister who's there. Maybe she'll get this. Shout out to Crota Shamani at the Rathayatra. I think she's one of the 20 or 30 only Western people who go to it, interestingly enough. Now, that might also be because the Hare Krishna movement around the world performs this Rathayatra. Now, in many places it's not done tomorrow. It'll just be on the day that they can get the permits for the parade. But it is held in practically every major city in the world now. New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Honolulu, Tokyo, Bangkok, Calcutta. The entire city of Calcutta shuts down for that day. The communists who were in charge of the government said no holiday. People just didn't go to work. So it's celebrated all over the world, and I got to, I feel very fortunate and honored that. And back in the 70s when we were first starting, the first festival was only in San Francisco. And then I remember in 1978 we had the first one in Honolulu. And I remember being a brahmachari in Tokyo in 74. And we did the Rathayatra there, and we just had a palanquin. But it was really good because the people in Japan, when they have a religious festival, that's what they do. They have a palanquin and they jump up, they go up and down. So they were, it was pretty ecstatic. So, and I've been to the festival, the Rathayatra in New York. So all over the world, anybody can attend this. And the big one for people in the Western world, if you can get up the money, I don't know where you are. Some of you people are actually in Los Angeles. But the big one in Los Angeles will be the first Sunday of August. About 50 to 100,000 people attend it. It's a parade that starts at the Civic Center in Santa Monica and ends up at the Venice Beach Boardwalk. It's the best party in Venice Beach. And that's pretty hard to do. But I've had all the people in Venice who put on big parties go, yep, you guys put on the biggest, bestest party. So anyway, this is the party in Rathayatra. It's reminiscing or remembering or reenacting this pastime of Lord Krishna and his brother and Balaram and Lady Subhadra going to a place called Kurukshetra for the solar eclipse. Back 5,000 years ago, there was a solar eclipse that would be seen in Kurukshetra, which is a very holy place. The Bhagavad Gita is actually spoken on that battlefield at Kurukshetra. So, many years later, there was a solar eclipse, and it is traditional that when there's a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse, that people will go to a sacred place and observe this eclipse by doing mantras and by bathing. Otherwise, stay inside, throw out anything, don't let any food sit out, hide, etc., etc. Practically all over the world, every ancient culture, everybody was like, eclipse, run for the hills. So in Vedic culture, it's also considered very inauspicious, except if you bathe and do mantras and chant the holy name. Then something that's very bad becomes actually something very good. So, and actually, Srila Gurudev, my instructing spiritual master, said, formerly people would bathe 3 times during a solar eclipse. Once when it first started, once in the middle, and once when it was ending. And for all those out there who may be paying attention to this, August 21st, there will be a total eclipse of the sun that goes across the entire United States of America. We'll have to have a class or a talk or a discussion about that. But in the meantime, you should know that even if you don't get back to us, it's a good time. Really, even if you can't get to a sacred place, just go in the shower, chant some mantras, praise God. You got to do what you got to do. It's Kali Yuga. And then it actually reverses that negative energy. So anyway, 5,000 years ago, Krishna, Balaram, and Lady Subhadra went to this Kurukshetra and met with the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So it's a actually very heartfelt reunion. And now I'm just going to read a little from a talk that my spiritual master gave at one of these Rathayatras. And for those who want to get a little more, this is a book we have the honor and privilege of publishing for Srila Gurudev called The Origins of Rathayatra. So it tells you about the ancient history of the temple. It tells you about the esoteric, deep spiritual hidden meanings about the appearance of the Lord in this form, and also so many things. Now we will find. Let us pray. The little talk that Srila Prabhupada gave. I was thinking of one Rathayatra. The Prabhupada had just printed the Krishna book, and they brought a case of them to the Rathayatra. And as soon as Srila Prabhupada got the books, he was very happy. Then he advertised it to everybody, and then he sat there and sold the entire case and autographed copies and didn't keep any for himself. All right, for some reason, it has disappeared. All right. Oh, there's one other little interesting thing. This form of Lord Jagannath with the big eyes and the big smile is an extremely merciful incarnation, and especially merciful to those who do not follow Vedic culture. Pretty much all of the Western world, and rapidly all of India. Whatever the Muslims failed to do in 700 years, the British failed to do in 20 years, the British failed to do in 200 years, MTV did in 20. So, I had it out and now it has disappeared. So I think this means at some point we'll have to read it again. Prabhupada talked on it. It's a very heartfelt festival. That it's the meeting with Krishna and the gopis, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and they've been separated for a very, very long time. So there's tears and there's reunion. But there's also separation because Krishna's there as a king with all his entourage and everything. And the gopis and the inhabitants of Vrindavan just remember him as the little cowherd boy. And they're loving. And he tells them to meditate on him. And sages all over the world are trying to meditate on the lotus feet of Krishna to obtain liberation in the spiritual world. And the gopis are going, we don't want to do that. Not only that, they go, in fact, we're trying to forget you. But we can't. All the sages and rishis of the world are trying to remember Krishna and fix their minds at the lotus feet. And the gopis are so attached that they're trying their best to forget, but they cannot. So it's a very heartfelt festival. And anybody who attends this festival, I can tell you, you'll get that ecstasy. It doesn't matter whether you're a Hare Krishna devotee or not. It doesn't matter whether you're following any rules or not. Lord Jagannath is so happy that day when he comes out of the temple that he just benedicts everybody. And in fact, usually the next day, my only complaint is my cheeks are completely sore from smiling all day. That it's a dangerous side effect of attending the Rathayatra festival, because normally you don't smile all day. And a couple of little other interesting facts about the Rathayatra festival. One year, some demons were trying to stop the parade in Los Angeles, and when the hearing was held, the police got up and said, "Just let them have the parade. We don't know what it is. We don't know if they're putting something in the food." The chanting, we don't know, and we really don't care. But on the day they have their parade, gang activity goes to 0. Not 1%, 0. There's no gang activity, there's no reports, nothing. Just let them have their festival. So interestingly enough, Lord Jagannath is conquering all over with love and affection. And interestingly enough, another interesting thing that I read, one of our acharyas stated that one time the Muslims were trying to stop this parade in India, and one devotee at the Jagannath Puri temple felt that he could go and appeal to Aurangzeb that, please let the festival take place. And somehow or another, I think he had a dream. Aurangzeb, this is the guy who destroyed temples, raped women, killed Brahmins, he had somehow or another had a dream, and he allotted like land and money to continue the festival. And they say that in this way he kind of atoned for a lot of his sins, if not all of them. So we're wishing everybody a happy cleansing of the Gundicha Mandir, and then tomorrow a happy Rathayatra. And if people are interested, they're held all over. So if you want to know a city that it's being held near you or when it's being held, you can contact us. Right now I'm technologically challenged, so I don't know how you contact us. But wherever this is being uploaded to, that would be a good start. All right. Aloha from the Big Island. We want to thank our production manager, our producer, our director, our script writer, our filmmaker, and soon to be the director of our, YouTube site? I don't know. All right. Aloha, Haribo, Jai Jagannath. Jai.